Okay, so tuloy natin sa problem number 16. Okay, so si problem number 16. So anong method kaya ito? So what is the book value of equipment purchased 3 years ago at 15,000 pesos? The expected lifespan is 15 years. Kaya use sum of the years digit method. So sinabi niya sum of the years digit method. This is the SYDM. Okay, so when it comes to the computation of its depreciation, annual depreciation, or yung kanyang uniform depreciation, that is the D sub R, equal to, okay, ito yung K sub R, okay, K sub R, okay, multiplied by the value of the D sub N. Ayun, kung babalikan natin yung ating diagram, okay, from the previous examples, okay, so at time is equal to 0, okay, the value is equal to the FC or the first cost. Then at time is equal to N, the amount is already equal to okay, the salvage value. And the total depreciation is okay, the D sub N. So kung paano natin kukunin yung depreciation on a given period. So take note na when it comes to the sum of the years digit method, hindi pare-pareho or not uniform yung ating depreciation. So D1, depreciation on the first year is not equal to the depreciation on the third year, not equal to depreciation on the third year, and so on. So not equal ay up to ay the D sub N. Magkakaiba yung depreciation per year. So how do we compute for the depreciation per year? Okay, ito yung... Okay, so if you are to expand that formula, we have that as the D sub R, an equivalent ng K sub R. So the K sub R is equal to kay N minus 1 ay plus, or baliktarin lang natin. Okay, this is N minus R plus 1 divided by 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to ay plus the nth year. Kaya siya tinawag na sum of the years digit method, wherein we can simplify yung equivalent ng K sub R equal to okay, the N minus R plus 1. This is divided by arithmetic sum yung denominator. That is N divided by 2 okay, multiplied by 1 plus N. So, or arithmetic sum or the sum of the terms of an arithmetic progression. So yung expanded equivalent ng ating D sub R is equal to the N minus R kay plus 1 kay divided by the N over 2 multiplied by 1 plus N kay multiplied by the value of the D sub N. So again, anong equivalent ng ating D sub N? The D sub N, so from our previous examples, ito yung first cost minus the kay salvage value. So ito yung approach ng okay, the sum of the years digit method. So if you are to list down yung mga given sa problem number 16. Okay, when it comes to number 16, ano yung ating first cost? The first cost is equal to 15,000 pesos. So useful life N is equal to 15 years. So, hinahanap natin yung book value ngayon. So, the book value R is equal to, at R is equal to 3 years. Okay, so far, yun yung given sa problem number 16. So, hinahanap natin dito is the book value R, or sabihin natin, book value number 3. So, somewhere between yung 0 at saka yung N natin. So, kung titingnan natin yung ating diagram, this is at R is equal to 3. Ito yung hinahanap natin na value. We have the book value ay number 3. So, pwede natin kunin dito yung ating total depreciation on the third year, the D sub 3. And yung N natin is equal to okay, 15 years. Okay, so when it comes to the sum of the years digit method, okay, meron tayong Caltech for this one kapag ang hinahanap is ay the book value. So again, applicable lang siya kapag yung method is okay, the sum of the years digit method. So sa calculator natin, it will be mode number 3. Yan. So tingnan lang natin kung anong lalabas. So mode number 3, mode stat. That will be number 3. So mode 3.3 tayo. Okay, so mode 3.3. Okay, mode 3.3. So lalabas ulit yung ating column. Okay, the column for x and y. Medyo iba lang yung pattern niya compared dun sa ating isang method kanina, that is the straight line method. So mode 3.3, again yung sa x is sa time, while yung value ng y naman is the book values. So we have at time is equal to 0, okay, the amount is equal to the first cost, which is equal to 15,000. Tapos at n is equal to, okay, yung given dito is 15 years, ang partner niya is salvage value. Pero kung babasahin natin na maigi, okay, si problem number 16, yun. What is the book value of the equipment purchased 3 years ago at 15,000 pesos? Expected life is 15 years. Use SYDM. Wala siyang nabanggit about salvage value. So kung walang nababanggit about salvage value, okay lang na ang equivalent nito is 0. So may mga problem na ang salvage value is equal to 0. So pwede nating ilagay yon. So n is equal to 15 and salvage value is equal to 0. Pero if you are using SYDM, meron tayong third row. So ito yung third row natin. So after n, ilagay ninyo n plus 1. So what is 15 plus 1? That will be 16. And ang partner nito is salvage value pa rin. Ulitin nyo lang. That is 0. Okay, so balik tayo sa ating calculator. So ito yung ating mode 3.3, columns x and y. So mag-input tayo ng data. 0. Okay, 15. Then we have 16. Okay, then sa kabila naman, we have dito sa may y, we have the first cost is 15,000 pesos, tapos salvage value 0, salvage value is also equal to 0. So after nun, you may press AC. So nag-press tayo dito ng AC, tapos hinahanap natin is book value number 3, kindly type sa calculator 3. So ilagay lang natin yung 3. Okay, tapos shift number 1, or that is shift stat. So shift number 1 tayo. Hanapin nyo si regression, that is number 5. So number 5 for the regression. Okay, tapos, okay, press 5. Ay, mali yata yung nilagay ko. Yan, so ulitin ko lang, shift number 1, number 5, regression. Then number 6 yung y hat ngayon. So number 6 is the y hat. Okay, so dapat yung nasa screen ng calculator is the 3y hat. And ang equivalent nito is the book value number 3. So that is 3y hat, then press equals. So we have the book value after 3 years is 9,750. So kindly explore na lang, okay, sa inyo yung long solution, but kapag book value lang, SYDM, you can use mode 3.3. So for number 16, 9,750, number 16, ang sagot natin will be letter D. So ito yung solution natin for problem number 16. Okay, so we proceed to problem number 17. Okay, determine the accumulated depreciation at the end of 8 years for an asset that costs 15,000 pesos and an estimated scrap value of 2,000 pesos at the end of 10 years. Okay, kung mapapansin ninyo, walang nabanggit na method kung anong gagamitin dito. Kapag hindi nagbabanggit ng method, mataas yung chance na straight line method siya, or the other one, we have the declining balance method, or the DBM. Okay, so mataas yung chance na is either straight line or declining balance method. For this one, gagamit tayo ng declining balance method. So, pare-pareho lang yung mga diagrams natin. So, pwede tayong gumamit ng formula-based solution or pwede rin naman Caltech. Okay, when it comes to the DBM, meron siyang Caltech. Again, at time is equal to 0, the amount is the first cost. At time is equal to n, the amount is salvage value dahil nagkaroon ng depreciation. So, the required values are yung mga values in between in most of the time sa mga questions sa board exam. That is at time is equal to r. So, we have book value r and the d sub r. So, again, hindi ko ipapakita yung derivation since we have a limited time. So, ang nako-compute ngayon is the book value r. Book value r is equal to the first cost multiplied by 1 minus k raised to r. Wherein yung k natin dito is the rate of depreciation. So, ang equivalent niya is 1 minus the salvage value divided by the first cost. This is raised to 1 over n. So, paki-memorize lalo ito just in case siya yung required kasi hindi siya nakukuha by Caltech. Okay, pero sige, try natin gamitan ng Caltech si problem number 17. So, let us list down yung mga given. So, we have a first cost equal to 15,000. So, scrap value or the salvage value is equal to 2,000 pesos. Okay, by the way, ang isang condition para magamit ang declining balance method, so, siya lang yung method na ang salvage value should not be equal to 0. Okay, the rest of the methods, pwedeng ang salvage value is equal to 0 except the declining balance method. So, as you can see, may given tayo na SB. So, ang hinahanap natin dito is accumulated depreciation at the end of 8 years. So, we are looking for the value of the D sub 8. D sub 8. So, para makompute yung D sub 8, kailangan natin yung kanyang kapartner. Okay, the book value number 8. So, ulit, kung babalikan lang natin yung ating diagram, kaya ano ba yung equation natin between first cost, D sub r, and book value r? So, first cost is equal to this height. Okay, that is the dr, plus, the book value r. So, basically, we have first cost is the accumulated depreciation after 8 years, o yung D sub 8 natin, plus the book value number 8. Ayun. So, again, ang pwede natin gamitin dito is mode stat for the declining balance method. So, ito naman yung pattern when it comes to the DBM or the declining balance method. So, gagamit pa rin tayo dito ngayon ng mode 3. Tapos, tingnan natin yung options. Okay, so this is mode number 3. We can use number 5 or number 6. So, lagay ko lang 5. Okay, so ang gagamitin ko na lang is mode 3, 5. Lalabas ulit yung ating columns. The X and Y. Again, yung X natin is for the time. Yung Y naman natin is for the book values. Okay, so maglagay lang tayo ng data. Okay, ang data for DBM is at time is equal to 0. Ang partner nito is the first cost. Okay, which is equal to 15,000 pesos. Tapos, at N equal to, anong useful life pala nito? Hindi ko nasulat. Okay, N of 10 years. So, ang N pala natin, ang N natin is equal to 10, ang R natin is equal to 8 years. Ayan, so maglagay lang tayo ng N is equal to 10, ang partner niya is the scrap value or the salvage value equal to 2,000. So, maglagay tayo ng data sa calculator. 0, 10, then, for the book values, okay, ang first book value is the first cost, 15,000. And ang last na book value is the salvage value, which is 2,000. Yan. After nan, you may press AC. So, press natin yung AC. So, para ma-solve natin yung book value number 8, i-type natin sa calculator is 8. Yan. Then, shift number 1, or that is shift stat. So, shift number 1, then number 5 ulit, yung regression. Number 5 is the regression. Then, number 5 ulit para dun sa y hat. Okay, so dapat yung nasa screen ng ating calculator ngayon is the 8y hat. And that is basically equal to the book value number 8. And press equals. It is 2,992.56. So, 2,992.56. Pero again, hindi pa yan yung required kasi ang hinahanap natin is depreciation, accumulated depreciation after 8 years, the days of 8. Pero balikan lang natin yung ating equation dito. Yan. So we have the first cost is equal to the D8 plus book value number 8. So ang first cost natin is equal to 15,000 pesos. Ang required is the days of 8. Ang computed book value number 8 is 2,992.56. So we have the days of 8 is equal to, yan, so 15,000, ibawas lang natin yan. Minus the answer. So 12,007.44. So this is equal to 12,007.44. So this should be our answer kasi ang hinahanap is depreciation, hindi book value. Okay? So ang hinahanap is accumulated depreciation. So 12,007.4, that will be ay letter C. Okay, ito yung solution natin kay problem 17. Okay, so we continue kay number 18. Okay, the cost of a machine is 140,000 pesos and has a useful life of 8 years and a salvage value of 10,000 pesos. Find the depreciation charge during the 4th year. Use double declining balance method. So next method natin, this is the double declining balance method. So for the double declining balance method, the same formula sila ni declining balance method when it comes to the computation of the book value. So book value R is equal to the first cost multiplied by 1 minus K raised to R. So parehong-pareho when it comes to the computation of the book value. Magkaiba lang sila ng pagkuha ng value ng K. Yung value ng K, okay, so ang clue ninyo ay double, maglagay lang kayo ng 2. 2 over the useful life n. Ayan, that is simply 2 over n tayo. Pero medyo kakaiba yung required sa number 18 dahil ang required niya is depreciation charge on the 4th year. So basically, ang hinahanap natin dito is the days of 4 or let's say, para mas malinaw, 4th year only. Ibig sabihin, hindi kasali yung 1st, 2nd, 3rd year. Okay, so para mas malinaw, ay kailangan pa rin, importante pa rin yung ating diagram. Okay, so also yung method na to is hindi straight line yung kanyang graph. So that's why you cannot use a ratio and proportion or you cannot use the straight line method. So we have the first cost, ito yung 0, SB at N. Ang hinahanap kasi natin is the depreciation charge on the 4th year only. Ang magiging reference natin will be the previous year. Okay, let's say this is yung nauna. Ito yung, okay, before 4th year, we have R is equal to 3. So, ito yung ating book value number 3. Tapos, di ba, sa susunod na taon ay babagsak ulit yung kanyang presyo. So, ganun yung depreciation. So, nababawas yung kanyang value every year. So, ito yung ating at R is equal to 4. Ano yung nabawas? Ang nabawas doon, okay, so ito naman yung ating book value number 4. Ang nabawas doon is yung depreciation charge on the 4th year only. Okay, days of 4. So, kung titingnan lang natin sa ating diagram, how do you compute for the days of 4? Yan, parang comparison of heights lang. Yung height ng book value 3. So, ang height ng book value number 3, ito yon. Ito yon ay equal sa yung nasa kabila. Ito yung days of 4, depreciation charge on the 4th year only, plus the book value number 4. So, if you are computing for the depreciation on the 4th year only, we have that as the days of 4 ay equal sa book value number 3 ay minus the book value number 4. So, pwede natin gawin yon manually or pwede rin by Caltech. Pero kapag double declining balance method, mas preferred ko yung manual. Okay, so tingnan natin mamaya pagdating sa Caltech niya. Okay, so list down ulit natin yung mga given. So, we have a first cost of 140,000 and useful life N is equal to 8 years. Okay, when it comes to double declining balance method, wala tayong pakialam pagdating sa salvage value. So, it's either 0 or not. Okay, hindi siya magagamit sa formula or hindi siya magagamit sa buong solution. Okay, so we have, ang kailangan lang natin doon is the value of R's and the value of N. So, kung babalikan natin, okay, yung ating equation, okay, the days of 4, this is days of 4 ay equal sa, okay, yung formula natin is the first cost, 1 minus k raised to r. So, ang first cost natin is 140,000, okay, multiplied by 1 minus k, ang k natin is 2 over n. So, 2 over 8, okay, raised to, okay, dahil book value number 3 ito, it should be raised to 3. Okay, yun yung ating book value. Ito yung book value number 3. Then minus book value number 4 tayo. We have 140,000. Okay, multiplied by 1 minus 2 over 8. Since book value number 4 ito, ay raised to 4. So this will be the depreciation charge on the 4th year only. So sa calculator natin, balik tayo sa mode 1. Okay, mode number 1. Yan. So we have that as 140,000. Okay, multiplied by 1 minus 2 over 8, the value of k. Okay, raised to 3. Ito yung book value number 3 equals, so minus 140,000. Okay, multiplied by 1 minus k ay 2 over 8 ulit yon. Okay, raised to 4 naman. So, book value number 3 minus book value number 4 is 14,765.625. Okay, 14,765.625. Okay, ito yung depreciation charge on the 4th year only. Balikan natin yung tanong. Okay, for number 18, ang sagot natin, okay, that will be letter D. 14,765.6. Okay, so the other solution is pwede naman by Caltech, pero hindi ko siya masyadong ma-appreciate yung Caltech ng double declining balance method. So, tingnan lang natin or i-present ko na lang, then check nyo na lang kung ma-appreciate ninyo. So, when it comes to the Caltech nito, Okay, so this is for the double declining balance method. Okay, this is also mode 3. So mode 3 tayo, mode 3 number 5. So lalabas ulit yung ating columns. Okay, so we have the x and y. Tapos ang ilalagay natin dito is 0. Ang partner ulit nito is the first cost, which is equal to 140,000. Tapos hindi natin ilalagay yung n as the partner. Ang ilalagay lang is 1. So basta 1 siya. Tapos ang partner nito is the first cost multiplied by 1 minus 2 over n. So, kung mapapansin ninyo, parang familiar ba yung first cost multiplied by 1 minus 2 over n? Actually, yun yung ating formula. Kaya hindi ko siya ma-appreciate for a reason. Gagamit ka ng Caltech, pero magme-memorize ka ng standard formula. So, kaya hindi ko siya ma-appreciate. So, first cost minus 1 minus 2 over n raised to r. So as you can see, wala lang siyang raised to r. So kung gusto natin kunin yung equivalent nito, this is 140,000 multiplied by 1 minus 2 over 8. Yung nasa formula natin. And anong magiging equivalent niyan? So we have that as 140,000 multiplied by 1 minus the 2 over 8. And this is equal to 105,000. So this is equal to 105,000. So yan yung data ng ating mode 3. Ay mode 3 number 5 for the double declining balance method. Ngayon, so sa calculator natin, this is mode number 3, number 5. Then ilagay lang natin yung mga data natin, 0, tsaka 1. Basta 0, 1 lang siya. Then, for the y values, we have first cost 140,000. And, yun, yung 140,000, or meron na pala tayong value, 105,000. Okay, so after nyan, we may press AC. So, press natin AC. Okay, di ba, ano ba yung hinahanap natin dito? Ang hinahanap kasi natin is yung hinahanap natin dito is the D sub 4. Ito yung book value number 3 minus book value number 4. So, gawin natin, palabasin muna natin yung book value number 3, which is ang equivalent niya is 3y hat. Minus yung book value number 4, ang equivalent naman niya is the 4y hat. So, i-type muna natin sa calculator natin. After AC is 3. Lagyan natin 3, tapos shift 1, number 5. So, shift number 1, number 5 yung regression. So, number 5. Tapos, number 5 ulit yung y hat. So, number 5. Ayan, napalabas na natin yung 3y hat. So, repeat the process na lang, pero mag-minus muna tayo. So, minus, sa calculator natin, minus. So, ang susunod is 4y hat. So, 4. Lagay natin yung 4. Tapos, shift number 1. Repeat the process lang tayo. Number 5 for the regression. Number 5 for the y hat. Ayan. So, number 4. Shift number 1. Number 5. Number 5. So, napalabas na natin yung 3y hat minus 4y hat. So, press equals lang tayo for the D sub 4. Press equals is equal to yan, 14,000. 14,765.625, which is the same lang dun sa ating manual solution. Pero as you can see, mas mabilis yung ating manual solution. Parang nag-i-input pa lang tayo ng data dito sa Caltech, possible tapos na tayo dito sa formula base. Okay, for a reason, formula base lang din yung Caltech. Kailangan mong i-memorize yung portion na to. Which is, basically, yung portion na yan, Okay, yung portion na yan is simply part lang ng ating general formula. Kaya hindi ko siya masyadong ma-appreciate yung Caltech ng the double declining balance method. But again, ayun, present ko lang as an alternative way or alternative solution sa Caltech natin. Okay, so we proceed sa next item, item number 19. So, this is already P6 and ito yung case ng constant velocity. Okay, so alam natin kapag constant ang velocity, walang changes sa velocity, the acceleration is 0. So kung babalikan natin yung calculus nito, ang velocity is the ds or the change in position with respect to the change in time. So, kung ito ay constant, kung yan ay constant, okay, ang acceleration kasi is the change in velocity with respect to time. So, alam natin na kapag ang derivative ng constant is simply equal to 0. So, ganyan kapag calculus base. Pero kapag parang direct sub tayo, hindi siya calculus base, velocity is simply the distance divided by the time. So, ganyan lang yung ating equation kapag constant velocity. So, let's have problem number 19. A man fires a target with a bullet's velocity of 900 meters per second. After 2.5 seconds, he hears the sound of the bullet that strikes the target. Assuming sound has a constant velocity of 350 meters per second, how far is the target from the man? Okay, so kung walang nabanggit na acceleration, okay, i-assume natin na yung mga given velocities are constant. Okay, so for problem number 19, okay, for example, nandito yung man. Okay, so ayun, so fires a target with a bullet. So, fires a target with a bullet. Let's say the velocity of the bullet ay given siya as 900 meters per second. Constant velocity. So, for example, nandito yung target. So, pagkatapos tumama nung bullet, so sabi niya, he hears the sound of the bullet that strikes the target. Assuming sound has a constant velocity of 350 meters per second. So, magta-travel yung sound from the target to the man, and yung kanyang velocity, okay, so the velocity of the sound is equal to 350 meters per second. So, tinatanong dito, okay, so ano yung total distance? So, sabihin natin yung ating distance is distance S. Okay, so constant velocities kasi walang nabanggit na acceleration. So sabi niya after 2.5 seconds he hears the sound. Ibig sabihin, meron tayong 2-time interval. So sabihin ko ito yung time number 1, ito yung pag-travel nung bullet from the man to the target. Then we have time number 2, ito yung pag-travel nung sound from the target to the man. So sabi niya, after 2.5 seconds, sa kanya narinig yung sound. So time number 1, magta-travel yung bullet, plus time number 2, magta-travel yung sound, yun yung 2.5 seconds. Okay, so analyze lang natin ay bawat isa, yung bullet at saka yung sound. So we have, unahin natin yung bullet. Again, so for constant velocity, okay, velocity ng bullet, okay, velocity is distance S divided by time. Ito yung time number 1 natin for the bullet. Okay, ano yung given na velocity ng bullet? We have that as 900 is equal to S divided by T1. So, ano magiging equivalent ng T1? So, modify lang natin yung equation. T1 is the distance S divided by 900. Okay, yun yung equation natin in terms of the bullet. So, punta naman tayo dun sa sound. So, velocity, constant velocity is distance over time. So, S divided by IT number 2. So, yung time to travel naman ng sound is time number 2. Ano yung given na velocity ng sound? We have that as 350 meters per second. The same distance. So, syempre, equal yung papunta at saka yung pabalik. Okay, divided by time number 2. So, ano equivalent ng time number 2? We have that as S divided by 350. So, gamitin lang natin yung equivalent ng T1 and T2 sa ating time equation. Ayun, mag-substitute tayo. Ano equivalent ng T1? So, T1 is S divided by 900 plus, ano equivalent ng T2? Kay T2 is S divided by 350 is equal to 2.5 seconds. So, computing for the S, the distance. So, we have that as, Caltech na shift solve na lang tayo. So, mode 1 muna. So, we have that as, alpha x is to 900 plus, we have the alpha x is to 350 is equal to 2.5. Yan. So, shift solve. So, we have that as 630 meters. So, yun yung solution natin. Sa first example natin for P6, item number 19. So, 630, that will be, letter D. Okay, so next problem, number 20. How long will it take a spaceship to accelerate from rest to half the speed of sound at the rate of 193.2 feet per second squared? So, sound travels at the speed of 186,000 miles per second. So, we have now a constant acceleration. So, this is the case of a constant acceleration or uniform acceleration problem. Okay, so let's have the three equations applicable for a constant acceleration problem or the uniform acceleration problem. We have the first one. This is the final velocity squared or b sub 2 squared equal to b1 squared plus 2 times the acceleration times the distance s. The second equation is the final velocity equal to your initial velocity plus the acceleration times the time. And the third one is the displacement s equal to initial velocity times time plus 1/2 acceleration times the time squared. So all you have to do is observe these three equations, then observe the given. So let us list down the given. So we have how long, which means we are looking for the value of time. And kung mapapansin natin sa choices, they are in terms of days. So, from rest, if we say from rest, your initial velocity is equal to 0. And the required final velocity is to half the speed of sound. That is the velocity of sound half divided by 2. And the acceleration is equal to 193.2 feet per second squared. And the given velocity of sound or the speed of sound is equal to 186,000 miles per second. Okay, so these are the given. So if you are to observe the given and are three formula, so which one will be the most suitable equation? Okay, that will be the second one. So final velocity is equal to initial velocity plus acceleration times time. So we have b1, b2. We are looking for time. The acceleration is given. Okay, but let us simplify the equivalent of our b sub 2. The final velocity. So, for the final velocity, Okay, the v sub 2, the required final velocity is half of the velocity of sound. We have 186,000 miles per second. This is half divided by 2. And let us just convert this units into the units of the acceleration so that we have a uniform unit. So multiplied by, we have 5,280 feet is to 1 mile. So what will be the value of the final velocity? Okay, so for the final velocity, this is equal to 186,000. We need the half divided by 2. So times 5,280 feet is to 1 mile. So let's have it as 491.04. This is times 10 raised to 6. The feet per second. So that we have the same unit as the unit of our acceleration. So now we are now ready to substitute the given to our applicable or suitable equation. So we have that as the v sub 2 equal to v1 plus acceleration times the time. So final velocity is 491.04. This is times 10 raised to 6. Initial velocity from rest 0 plus the acceleration given 193.2 times the time. But okay, so the resulting unit for this time is in terms of seconds. So this is in terms of the seconds. All you have to do is, again, if you are to observe, the unit of our choices is in terms of days. So this is multiplied by, we have 1 hour is to 3,600 seconds. Then multiplied by 1 day is to 24 hours. So, importante dito na aware tayo sa mga basic units natin or basic conversion units natin. So, by the way, nakikita rin naman sila sa calculator natin. So, okay, so if you are to do unit analysis dito, so cancel na yung seconds, hour, and hours. So, ang naiwan na unit for this one, will be in terms of the days. So we have that as 491.04. This is times 10 raised to 6. To be divided by 193.2. That is in terms of seconds divided by 3,600. Then divided by 24. So we have that as 29.419. 29.419 days. So, check natin sa choices. So, 29.419 or that will be 29.42. So, this will be our solution kay item number 20. Okay, so next problem tayo. Still on physics. So, ito naman yung number 21, example ng relative velocity. So, konting intro lang ulit. Okay, so when it comes to the relative velocity, for the topic nung airplane, tapos kasabay niya or kasalubong niya yung hangin or the same dun sa boat, kasabay niya or kasalubong niya yung agos ng tubig ng ilog, for example. So when it comes to relative velocity, kapag the same direction, let's say your B1 is to the right and your B2 is also to the right, the equivalent of your relative velocity is equal to B1 plus B2, which is equal to the distance over time. So constant velocities pa rin tayo, walang acceleration. Pero kung nagkasalubong, for example, ito yung B1 pakanan, yung B2 natin is pakaliwa, the equivalent of the relative velocity is equal to B1 minus B2 is equal to the distance divided by the time. Again, applicable ito dun sa cases ng airplane at saka yung hangin or yung boat, bangka at saka yung tubig. So let's have a problem number 21. Sabi niya, an airplane can fly from A to B along with the wind for 1.5 hours with a distance of 500 kilometers and 1.6 hours in flying the same distance against the wind. What is the velocity of the plane in still air? Okay, so from this problem, okay, so let's say, okay, ito si point A, then si point B. So yung ating total distance is equal to kay 500 kilometers. So that is 500 kilometers. So sabi niya, with the wind is 1.5 hours. So let's say, yung ating plane, velocity ng plane ay pakanan, and yung velocity ng wind is also to the right. So ang binigay niya na time dito, let's say this is time number 1, is 1.5 hours. Ngayon, okay, so again, ulitin ko lang, that is with the wind. I-consider naman natin yung against the wind. Pero sabi niya, same distance. So, let's say, yung ating wind is, velocity of the wind is to the right, and yung velocity of the plane natin is pakaliwa na siya ngayon. Pero take note, para makagalaw yung airplane, let's say, B sub P, the velocity of the wind, should be greater than the velocity of the wind. Dapat mas malakas yung ating airplane kaysa sa hangin para makagalaw siya dun sa hangin. Okay? So, ano yung mga equations natin? So, yung first situation, by the way, ano yung time? Kapag against the wind, yun yung ating time number 2. Okay? Yung given niya dito is, the 1 point. Okay, we have the 1.6 hours. Okay, that is our time number 2. Kapag against the wind. Okay, so ano yung mga equations natin? So, situation number 1, kapag along, or kapag with the wind. So, kapag the same direction, anong gagawin? That is velocity ng plane plus velocity of the wind is equal to the distance over time. So, yun yung time natin doon is time number 1. We have velocity of the plane plus velocity of the wind. Ay given naman yung distance, 500 kilometers. So, 500 divided by given yung time number 1, 1.5 hours. So, this is kilometer per hour. Ayun yung ating first situation. Ngayon, kasalubong na niya yung hangin. So, ang gagawin natin dyan, okay, that will be velocity of the plane minus velocity of the wind is equal to the distance, iba na yung time, so time number 2. Okay, so substitute natin yung mga given. We have that as the velocity of the plane minus velocity of the wind is equal to distance, 500, divided by 1.6, also in kilometers per hour. So, ayan, meron tayong 2 equations. So, this is equation number 1 and equation number 2. So, pwede nating gamitin yung mode 5 number 1 ng calculator. So, this is mode number 5, mode equation number 1 tayo. So, ilagay natin yung mga data. So, from equation 1, velocity of the plane, 1. Velocity of the wind, 1. Equal to, yung ating constant is 500 divided by 1.5. Okay, that's from our equation number 1. Equation number 2 natin is velocity of the plane is 1. Velocity of the wind, negative 1 tayo doon kasi minus b sub w is equal to 500 time number 2 natin divided by 1.6. And press equals. So, yung value ng x dyan is yung ating b sub p. And that is equal to ay 322.92. We have 322.92 kilometers per hour. Then, yung y naman natin dyan will be the velocity of the wind, which is equal to Okay, so 10.42. This is 10.42 kilometers per hour. Pero yung required dito sa problem number 21 is the velocity of the plane in still air. So velocity of the plane, so ang sagot natin will be 322.92 kilometers per hour. Or sa choices, it is surrounded as 323 kph. So yun yung sagot natin sa item number 21. Okay, so sa number 22 naman. So number 22 is an example ng rotational motion. So rotation ito, but it is still under the topic ng constant acceleration. So wala tayong bagong formula dito, pero iba lang yung mga terms na gagamitin. So we have omega, ito yung angular, the angular velocity. So instead na v yun, so angular velocity tayo ngayon. We have yung alpha naman, alpha is the angular acceleration. Okay, tapos yung theta naman natin is equal to the angular displacement. So kanina nagbigay ako ng 3 equations for constant acceleration. Ito yung b sub 2 squared equal to b1 squared plus 2as. Equivalent niya dito sa rotational motion is the final angular velocity squared equal to initial angular velocity squared plus twice of the angular acceleration times angular displacement theta. We have the final velocity b2 equal to b1 plus 80. Ang equivalent niya dito is omega 2 equal to omega 1 plus alpha times the time. And yung third s equal to b1t plus 1/2 80 squared. Equivalent niya sa rotation is theta, angular displacement, equal to omega 1 times time plus 1/2 of the angular acceleration times the time squared. So again, wala tayong bagong formula. Nag-iba lang yung mga terms na ginagamit natin dahil yun nga, iba lang yung type of motion. Okay, problem number 22, sabi niyo dito, a flywheel rotating at 500 RPM decelerates at 2 radian per second squared. How many seconds will it take for the flywheel to stop? So we are to list down ulit yung mga given. So flywheel rotating at 500 RPM, yun yung ating initial angular velocity. Okay, we have the 500 revolutions per minute. Tapos given, decelerates at 2 radian per second squared. So we have that as our alpha, 2 radians per second squared. So take note, kapag deceleration, kapag decelerate, our sign convention should be negative dahil deceleration siya. Then, ang required kasi is to stop, titigil. So expected na yung ating final angular velocity should be equal to 0. So, how long? We are looking for time. Ayan. So, yun yung mga given natin. I-observe ninyo yung mga given. I-observe niyo yung tatlong equation na to. Then, decide which one is the most suitable equation. So, the most suitable equation is the second one. Pero kailangan nating maging consistent sa units. So, kung rad per second, kailangan natin itong gawing radian per second. So, ito lang ulit yung conversion. We have 1 revolution is 2 pi radians, then multiplied by 1 minute is 60 seconds. So we can cancel now yung revolution, yung minute, ang naiwan is the rad per second. So computing for the equivalent of our initial angular velocity, we have that as 500, or balik tayo sa mode 1. 500 multiplied by 2 of pi Okay, divided by 60. Or pwede nyo gawin next time, simplified, pi over 30. So we have that as 50 over 3 of pi. So 50 over 3 of pi. Ang unit nito ngayon ay the radians per second. Okay, so we are now to substitute. Again, ganon. I-observe niyo yung given, i-observe niyo yung most suitable equation. So, gamitin natin yung second. This is final omega is equal to initial omega plus the acceleration times the time. So, again, to stop, final is 0. So, this is 0. Initial is 50 of pi over 3 plus the acceleration is negative 2 times the time. So, if you are to observe the units, radian per second squared, radian per second. So, dapat yung sagot natin na time dito is in seconds. So, the time is equal to 50 over pi over 3 transpose magiging negative then divided by 2. So, the answer is equal to 26.18 seconds. So, ito dapat yung ating sagot. So, let us observe sa choices. If we have 26.18, ay item number 22. 26.18, okay, so rounded siya sa 26.2 seconds. It should be in seconds. So, ito yung solution natin. So, rotational motion. Kay problem ay number 22. Okay, so sa number 24 naman, 23 to 24. So, pag meron tayong situational problem sa ibang engineering board exam, kapag situational problem, we have 2 to 3 questions. But for this one, we have 2 questions. So, yung topic na to is the projectile. So, we have several cases. Ilan din yung case dapat ng projectile, pero ibibigay ko lang yung pinakasimpleng case for this one. Okay, sa lecture na to. So, for projectile, yung pinakasimpleng case natin is yung projectile natin is babagsak on the same elevation as the origin. So, ano yung mga common questions dito? Let's say this is the inclination theta and yung kanyang initial velocity is the v sub O. So, yung mga common questions dito is x, which is ito yung range. Tapos, yung isa pang question is the h max. Ano yung maximum height na mararating ng isang projectile. So, again, for this short discussion, ibibigay ko na lang muna yung mga formula. But if we have time, we can, siguro kung meron tayong enough time, we can derive them. So, ang range ng isang projectile, again, dapat babagsak on the same elevation as the origin. Ito yung x is equal to the v sub O, initial velocity squared sine up 2 theta divided by the acceleration due to gravity. While yung h max naman is equal to the initial velocity sine of theta kay quantity squared divided by 2g. So, hopefully, hindi nyo mapagpalit dahil they are identical. Medyo hawig sila ng kaunti. Okay, so let's have problem number 23 to 24. A bullet is fired from the ground at an initial velocity of 350 meters per second and an angle of 50 degrees with the horizontal. So, ito yung mga given natin. We have the initial velocity, v sub O is equal to 350 meters per second. Its inclination with the horizontal is 50 degrees. So, let's have the required number 23. What maximum height will the bullet reach? So, sa number 23 tayo. So, maximum height, ito lang yung formula na gagamitin natin. Actually, galing lang siya dun sa ating b sub 2 squared equal to b1 squared plus 2as. Yun yung pinanggalingan niya. So, kung meron sanang time, pwede nating i-derive. So, we have h max is equal to the b sub O sine of theta quantity squared divided by twice of the acceleration due to gravity. Ayan. So, mag-substitute tayo. Okay, we have the maximum height is now equal to, okay, initial velocity 350 meters per second. Then, sine ng 50 degrees, okay, quantity squared. Okay, then divided by twice of 9.81. The acceleration due to gravity. Okay, so compute natin. H max. We have 350 sine ng 50 degrees. Then squared. Then divided by 2. Then divided by 9.81. So 3,663.91. So we have 3,663.91 meters. So nasa meters yung units natin. So sa choices for item number 23, it is letter D tayo, rounded to 3,664. Then yung follow-up question niya, find its range on the same horizontal plane through the point it was fired. So, yung number 23 naman is the range. So, yun. Binigay ko rin na formula kanina. So, we have that as, okay, for number 24. Okay, the range is equal to x, initial velocity squared, sine of 2 theta divided by the acceleration due to gravity. Okay, let us compute. Okay, we have the x is equal to initial velocity 350 meters per second, sine ng 2 times 50 degrees, then divided by, naka-squared yung base of O natin, divided by 9.81. Okay, we have the value of x equal to, okay, this is 350 squared, sine of 2 times 50 is 100, okay, divided by 9.81. So, 12,297.55. Okay, 12,297.55 meters. So, ito naman yung sagot natin for number 24. So, check natin sa choices. 12,297. So, let's say it is rounded sa 12,298. So, letter A naman sa number 24. So, again, may mga cases sa ganito sa mga engineering board exam na isa yung problem pero meron tayong 2 to 3 questions. Okay, so next is number 25 and this is an example ng friction. So, this is for kinetic friction. So, another short intro. So, for friction. So, for example, mag-consider lang tayo ng isang object in a contact surface kung saan siya gagalaw. Ayan. So, ano yung magkukos para gumalaw yung isang object? Okay, magko-consider tayo dito ng external force. So, let's say we have an external force, P. So, pag gumalaw yung object, kapag nagkaroon ng change in velocity, magre-result ito sa acceleration. So, kapag may acceleration ng isang object, ay meron tayong from the second law of motion by Newton or sa ibang reference, mas sikat siya sa term na REF or this is the reverse effective force equal to the mass times acceleration. So kapag may binigay no coefficient of kinetic friction, ibig sabihin nun, magko-consider naman tayo ng frictional force. So, yung REF natin, reverse effective force, at saka yung frictional force, they are preventing the motion. So, we have, paano ba mag-compute ng frictional force? Ang frictional force is, kapag in motion, coefficient of kinetic friction, the mu k, ay multiplied by the normal force. So, pag sinabi naman natin na normal force, ito yung force acting, okay, perpendicular sa ating contact surface. So again, yung ating normal force is a force acting ay normal dun sa ating contact surface. That is the normal force. kung wala namang ibang vertical forces acting on the body, ay madalas na ang equivalent ng normal force is equal to the weight. Pero para masigurado kayo, ay lagi niyong gawin yung summation of forces vertical. Okay, so for our complete analysis, so this is by summation of forces horizontal equal to 0 to the right forces to be positive. Ito yung applied force P na pakanan minus yung pakaliwa, REF, ay minus the frictional force is equal to 0. So, bali ito yung ating general formula, pero kailangan nyong i-inspect ng maayos kung meron bang P, meron bang REF, or meron bang friction. So, in some cases, may isa sa kanila na wala. Okay, so minsan, kompleto, minsan, may isa sa mga elements na to yung wala. Okay, so let's have our example number 25. So 100 kg of ice is kicked so that it will have an initial velocity of 10 meters per second. If the coefficient of friction between the floor horizontal and the block of ice is 0.1, find the total distance that the block will travel before coming back to rest. So ito yung ating problem. So let's say meron tayong block of ice. Okay, so sinipa daw ito. Then gagalaw on a horizontal floor. So sinipa lang siya. Then the block will move on its own. Tapos, okay, so nagkaroon siya ng initial velocity equal to the 10 meters per second. Yung given na coefficient of kinetic friction, okay, the mu k is equal to 0.1. So find the total distance that the block will travel before coming back to rest. So ang expected natin, okay, na final velocity niya, okay, the final velocity v sub 2 is equal to 0. So ang hinahanap lang natin dito ngayon is okay, the total distance, okay, total distance s. So, yan. Ano yung mga kakailanganin natin dito? Yan. Tingnan natin yung mga available na forces. Meron ba tayong applied force P habang gumagalaw yung ice? As you can see sa ating problem, walang external force na applied sa kanya habang gumagalaw siya. Okay, so let's say, habang gumagalaw yung ating block, dahil sinipa lang, okay, the block of ice is moving on its own. Kumbaga, yung momentum lang nung sipa, yung nagpapakilos sa kanya. So, i-analyze natin. So, take note, okay, hindi siya tinutulak. Okay, dahil lang sa effect nung sipa, kaya siya gumagalaw. So, therefore, wala tayong value ng P. Kapag nagkaroon ng change in velocity, so 10 meters, then magiging 0, meron tayong acceleration. A. So, ibig sabihin ko, pag may acceleration, okay, meron tayong REF, okay, the reverse effective force. Kapag may given na coefficient of friction, ibig sabihin, magko-consider tayo ng frictional force. Okay, so far, sila yung mga forces na okay, available. So, as you can see, from our general equation kanina, ito yung P minus the REF, okay, minus the frictional force is equal to 0. Pero for this case, walang applied force dun sa ating object habang gumagalaw. So, wala yun. So, ano yung available? Okay, we have negative REF is negative MA. Frictional force is mu kinetic normal force. And then, titingnan natin, meron ba tayong ibang vertical force na applied? Wala. Walang applied na vertical force. So, ang available lang na vertical force is the weight. And yung reaction dito sa ilalim is the normal force. So, basically, by summation forces vertical, yung normal force natin ay equal lang sa weight. Okay, so let's have. Okay, by the way, paano ba mag-compute ng weight? Okay, ang weight is the mass times acceleration due to gravity. Okay, then balik tayo sa ating equation. This is now equal to 0. Okay, ano yung given mass? Okay, Okay, the given mass is 100 kilograms. So mag-substitute lang tayo. This is negative 100 times the acceleration minus mu. Given yung mu natin as 0.1. Normal force ay equal sa weight and ang weight ay equal sa mg. So 100 times acceleration due to gravity, 9.81 equal to 0. So computing for the acceleration, this is negative 100 times alpha x minus 0.1 of 100 multiplied by 9.81. Then this is equal to 0. So shift solve tayo. This is negative. So nagtataka ba tayo kung bakit negative? 0.981 meter per second squared. So ang ibig sabihin ng negative acceleration is deceleration, slowing down. Di ba slowing down siya? From 10 meters per second, naging 0. So that's why it is a deceleration. Pero take note, ang hinahanap kasi natin dito is the distance s. Okay, evaluate ulit natin yung ating mga given. Okay, meron tayong B1 equal to 10 meters per second. Okay, meron tayong B2, titigil siya, 0. Computed acceleration, which is a deceleration, negative 0.981 meter per second squared. Hinahanap natin yung distance. Okay, i-recall natin ano yung 3 equation for constant acceleration na I think dalawang beses ko nang naibigay. We have the b sub 2 squared equal to b1 squared plus 2as. Yun yung una. Second is the b sub 2 equal to b1 plus a times t. The third is s equal to b1t plus 1/2 of the at squared. So, i-observe ninyo yung available given. I-observe ninyo yung suitable formula. Alin sa tatlo? It will be the first one. So, mag-substitute tayo. Okay, dito, what is our b sub 2? So, titigil, that is 0 squared equal to b1. We have that as 10 squared plus twice. Ano yung computed acceleration? Negative 0.981. Then, the distance s. So, compute natin yung distance s. So, we have that as, transpose, magiging negative, divided by negative will be positive. So, we have that as 10 squared divided by 2 of, gawin na natin positive kasi magpa-positive naman to. 0.981. So, we have that as 50.97. 50.97 meters. So, ito yung sagot natin sa number 25. So, check natin sa choices. So, 50.97, the nearest value is 51 meters. So, ito yung solution natin. First example for friction, problem number 25. Okay, so sa number 26 is a simple problem in statics. So, simpleng example lang ito. So, kapag statics, alam lang natin, we can solve any problem sa statics by the 3 equations of equilibrium. Ito yung summation forces vertical equal to 0, summation forces horizontal equal to 0, and the summation of moments equal to 0. So, these are the 3 equations of equilibrium applicable for statics problem. So, number 26. A 5 kilogram weight hanging on a 3 meter long rope from a point of anchor on a vertical wall is pulled away from the wall by a horizontal force so that the rope makes an angle of 30 degrees with the vertical. So find the value of the horizontal force. But everything is in kilograms kung i-observe natin sa choices. So meron tayong object nakasabit daw dito sa may vertical wall. Okay, tapos hihilain yung object na to. Okay, hihilain yung object natin by a horizontal force. So sabihin ko na lang yung horizontal force natin is H. Pero the weight of the object is 5 kilograms. So, alam naman natin na yung weight is always, ang direction ng weight is always downward. Due to gravity. That is 5 kg. Tapos yung angle daw, made by the rope with the vertical is equal to 30 degrees. So, hinahanap natin yung value ng h. So how to compute for that value? Kapag 3 forces lang yung involved, yung isang method natin is the force triangle or force polygon. So force triangle tayo. So dahil dito sa horizontal force H na to, at saka yung weight ng ating object, ang result nun is tension. Magbibigay yun ng tension dun sa rope. Kapag 3 forces lang, pwede natin gamitin yung triangle method. Triangle method. So, gawa lang tayo ng triangle. So, ito yung mga direction ng mga forces natin. Alam natin na ang weight is always downward. So, that is the weight equal to 5 kg. Tapos, nag-apply tayo ng horizontal force. So, this horizontal force is H. Yung resultant nila is yung tension dun sa rope. So, ang resultant, it will close the force triangle. Pero, supposedly, pababa yung direction niya, I think. But again, this is just our R. And ang inclination nito is, yung angle ng roof is 30 degrees. Correction, hindi siya with respect to the horizontal. Kasi ang given is with respect to vertical. So, dapat nandito yung ating 30 degrees. So based dito sa ating right triangle, so paano kunin yung H? What function? Trigonometric function, we can use the function of tangent. So tangent of 30 degrees is equal to, kung ito yung angle, ang opposite side niya is yung H. Ang adjacent niya is the weight, which is 5. So yung H natin is simply equal to 5 tangent 30. So what is the value of 5 tangent 30 degrees? So we have that as 2.89. This is 2.89 kilograms. So check natin if we have 2.89 kilograms sa ating choices. So that will be letter C tayo, number 26. Okay, so sa number 27 naman, compared to number 26, we have only 3 forces. So, paano naman kapag meron tayong multiple concurrent forces? If we say concurrent, they are acting on a common point, on a common plane. So, the members of a truss are pin connected at joint O as shown. So, when F sub 2, so given yung ating F sub 2, that is equal to 6 kilonewtons. Determine the magnitude of F1. Ito yun, yung nasa ilalim. The magnitude of F1 and its angle at theta for equilibrium. Kung sinabi sa problem na yung isang missing force natin ang magkukos ng equilibrium ng isang force system, ibig sabihin, yung force na yon, yung missing force na yon is the equilibrant. Yung force that will keep a force system in equilibrium is the equilibrant. Kung equilibrant yan, ang direction ng equilibrant is acting directly opposite to the resultant. Kung ito yung direction ng resultant natin, ito naman yung direction ng ating equilibrant, directly opposite. But again, yung resultant natin, the resultant is basically equal to the value of the equilibrant. So they are numerically equal but acting in the opposite direction. So, kung gagawa tayo ng figure, ito yung resultant, sabihin ko na lang E para dun sa equilibrant. They are acting in the opposite direction. Okay? So, pwede natin gawin dito is, yung shortcut na lang, that is the mode complex ng ating calculator. But para magamit natin ang mode complex ng calculator, kailangan natin yung mga angles from the positive x-axis. So ito yung ating x-axis. Then ang ating general equation for this one is the summation of forces and their corresponding angle from the positive x-axis. Okay, so given naman yung ating F sub 2, that is 60 kilonewtons. So kung 70 degrees ito, okay, yung angle dito is equal to 20 degrees. Okay, para 90 degrees yan. So what about yung 5 kilonewtons natin? So 5 kilonewtons from the positive x-axis, ano yung angle niya? If this is 30 degrees, o diba alam natin, this is 0, 90 degrees, ito naman ay 180 degrees. 180 minus 30, so ang angle nito is 150 degrees. Okay, tapos yung third force natin, so kaya lang slope lang yung given. So kunin lang muna natin yung kanyang equivalent angle. So yung angle na to is 4, this is 4, this is 3. So, gamit tayo ng tangent. Okay, that is, sabihin ko na lang, ano ba yung lalagay natin dito? Let's say alpha. Okay, tangent of alpha is equal to opposite, 4 over 3. So, the value of angle alpha is equal to? So, that is the shift tangent of 4 over 3. So we have that as 53.13 degrees. So 53.13 degrees. So yung angle na to is equal to 53.13 degrees. Pero ang kailangan kasi natin is yung angle niya from the positive x-axis. So ito yon. Yan. So take note na pwedeng counterclockwise yung angle, pero dapat okay, kindly observe the sign convention. Kapag counterclockwise, the angle theta is positive. Pero kapag clockwise, your angle should be negative. Standard yan sa trigo. So, ano yun? So, that will be 90 degrees. Ito, 90 degrees plus 53.13. That is 143.13 degrees. Pero mineasure ko siya clockwise. So, our sign should be negative. Ayan. So, ang gagamitin natin dito to compute for the resultant is the mode complex ng calculator. So, gamit tayo ng mode complex. Ito na yung pinaka-shortcut natin. So, for the mode complex sa calculator, dalhin lang natin yan. So, that is mode number 2. Okay, tapos ano yung mga equation natin? Again, that will be the summation of the forces, their corresponding angle from the x-axis, positive x-axis. Okay, that is equal to, unahin natin yung unang given, that is the 6 kilonewtons. So we have that as 6 angle. Ano yung angle niya from the positive x-axis? That is 20 degrees. Okay, plus yung 5 kilonewtons. Okay, this is 5. Ang angle niya from the positive x-axis is 150 degrees. Then plus yung last is 7 kilonewtons. Ang angle niya from the positive x-axis is equal to negative 143.13 degrees since it is measured clockwise. Okay, so input lang natin ito sa mode complex ng calculator. Okay, we have that as 6. Shift negative sign. Shift negative sign tayo para mapalabas natin yung angle sign. Okay, 20 degrees plus 5 shift negative sign. We have 150 plus 7 shift negative sign. Huwag kakalimutan, negative 143.13 degrees. And press equals. Yung lalabas na form nito is in the form of a complex number, the a plus BI. So, ang gawin natin, shift 2, shift number 2, then hanapin ninyo yung R angle theta para maging polar form. So, shift number 2, our angle theta pala is number 3. So, number 3, then press equals. So, ang result na nito is now equal to, ano yan? 4.31. 4.31, ang angle niya is equal to 175.31. 175.31 degrees. So, kung ano man yung nakuha natin dito, okay, again, in the form of r angle theta. Pero ito, that is already your resultant and numerically equal to your equilibrant. So, 4.31 kilonewtons. So, pwede nating i-check sa choices kung sino mo yung may value ng 4.31. Okay, so far, nag-iisa lang yung value na 4.31. So, letter A lang. Pero yung angle niya, bakit iba? Kasi yon, ulitin ko lang, yung sinabi ko kanina, ang direction ng resultant is directly opposite dun sa equilibrant. Ang F1 natin yung equilibrant, kaya nandito yung resultant. Yan. So, opposite siya. Yung equilibrant na F1 ay nasa opposite direction. Kung i-analyze natin yun sa ating Cartesian coordinate system or yung ating quadrants, okay, so based sa lumabas, ang angle ng ating resultant is 175.31. Di ba dito is already 180 degrees? So, yung resultant natin is acting malapit sa 180. Okay? And kapag positive, ibig sabihin it is measured counterclockwise. This is 175.31 degrees. And again, ito yung ating resultant. And yung ating equilibrant is acting on the opposite direction. But the same magnitude. Okay, so ano yung remaining angle dito? Ay yung before 180 degrees. So that is simply 180. Okay, that is equal to simply 100. Balik tayo sa mode 1. 180 degrees, okay, minus 175.31. So we have that as 4 point. Okay, this angle is only 4.69 degrees. If this is 4.69 degrees, ano yung angle dito? This is also 4.69 degrees. The direction of the equilibrant, which is equal to our F1. So, kaya yun yung angle partner niya na 4.69 degrees. So, ito yung shortcut natin for one missing force sa isang concurrent force system. Okay, the mode complex. Okay, so item number 28. This is a so example natin sa unit, the unit vectors. So, given the vectors, I compute the triple scalar A cross B dot C. So, you have the vectors A, 8i plus 4j minus 2k in pounds. B is, ayun, so wala siyang I element, kumbaga. So, ang vector B natin is equal to, okay, so parang 0i, meron siyang 2j kay plus 6k. So, missing yung I element niya. Then plus, then C, vector C, 3i minus 2j plus 4k. So, inahanap lang natin is A cross B dot C. Kung ganito lang naman yung required, okay, pinaka-convenient is mode vector tayo sa, okay, the mode vector sa calculator. So, diretso na natin for the mode vector. So, this is, okay, mode number 8. So, maglagay muna tayo ng data kay vector A. So, choose number 1. So, ulitin ko lang, mode 8, tapos 1. Okay, this is kay vector A. Tapos, ayun, so magtatanong siya ng dimension. 1:3 ba or 2:2? So as you can see, we have 3 elements, I, J, K. Kaya 1 ulit tayo. So yun yung 1 corresponds to 1 is to 3, 3 elements. So ilagay natin yung mga elements ni vector A. We have that as 8, okay, positive 4, then negative 2. After nun is, after natin maglagay ng data, yun yung 8, 4, and negative 2, we may press, hindi tayo mag-AC. Okay, ang gawin nyo dyan is shift. Yan, tingnan nyo lang kung nasaan si vector. Si vector is number 5. So shift 5 tayo doon. Shift 5. So shift number 5. Tapos dimension or data. So, ang gagawin natin doon is number 2, maglalagay tayo ng mga panibagong data para doon sa ibang vectors. So, number 2, pero this time, ang lagyan naman natin ng data is si vector B. So, for vector B, it is number 2. Ito yung si vector, ay vector B. So, number 2, tapos, okay, the same, 1 is to 3 yung ating dimension. Okay, 1 is to 3, or meron tayong 3 elements. So 1, ano yung mga elements ni vector B? As you can see, wala siyang I element. Kaya 0 yung kanyang I, 2 yung kanyang J, or yes, that is 2. Then yung kanyang K is 6. So ang elements ni vector B is 0, 2, and 6. Okay, then, yun. Repeat lang natin yung process para kay vector C. Okay, press equals yan. So, shift number 5, number 2. So, this time, si vector C naman, number 3. So, 1 is to 3. Ano yung mga elements ni vector C? We have 3 equals, negative 2 equals, then 4 equals. Ayan, kapag nakompleto na natin yung laman ng tatlong vectors natin, ay may press AC. So, clear, all clear. Tatanggalin na natin yun. Tapos, yun. Sundin lang natin yung required. A cross B dot C. So, open parenthesis. Shift number 5. Hanapin nyo si vector A. That is 3. So, mapapalabas ko si vector A. Then, yung cross product is simply multiplication symbol, ordinary multiplication symbol, X. Then, shift number 5, mapapalabas ko si vector B naman. Vector B is number 4. Then, close parenthesis. Yun na yung A cross B dot C. So, yung dot naman is a shift number 5. Hanapin nyo si dot. Anong number si dot? That is number 7. Then, shift number 5. Vector C is number 5. So, number 5. Ayan. So, napalabas na natin yung vector A cross vector B dot vector C. Then, press equals. So, ang result nito is equal to 244. So, sa choices natin, it is letter B. So, yun yung example ng paggamit ng mode vector ng calculator. Okay, so proceed tayo sa number 29. This is an example ng strength of materials. So, ano yung mga common questions dito? We have the normal stress. Okay, ito yung sigma. So, basically, sigma is force over area. Yung isa naman is about deformation. Okay, when it comes to deformation, ito yung delta. So, delta is equal to the force, the length, divided by area times the modulus of elasticity, or the PL over AE. So, let's have number 29. Okay, sabi niya dito, we have a mild steel column is hollow and circular in cross-section with external diameter siguro yan, 350 millimeters and internal diameter of 300 mm. It carries a compressive axial load of 2,000 kilonewtons. Which of the following gives the shortening of the column if its initial height is 5 meters? So, hollow section, paano ba kumuha ng area ng isang hollow section? Okay, parang difference of areas of two circles lang naman. So, kailangan natin ng outer diameter, kailangan natin ng inner diameter. So, paano kumuha ng area nito? Basically, the area is equal to pi over 4 times the d squared minus d squared. Yun lang naman. So, outer minus inner. So, let us just list down yung mga given. So, outer diameter is equal to 350 mm. Inner diameter is equal to 300 mm. Okay, so the applied force P is equal to 2,000 kilonewtons. Then, the length is equal to, or the height is equal to 5 meters. Kung mapapansin niyo, walang given na modulus of elasticity. But the modulus of elasticity ng steel, the modulus of elasticity of steel is 200,000 megapascals. So, that is 200,000 megapascals. Okay, so I think this is more on direct sub. So we have now the delta. Okay, so delta is equal to the PL over AE. Kailangan lang i-observe ng maigi yung mga units natin dito. Ay, yung P natin is in kilonewtons. Gawin ko lang siyang newtons. So this is 2,000 kilonewtons. Okay, multiplied by 1,000 newtons is to 1 kilonewton. Then multiplied by, we have 5 meters. Gawin ko lang siyang millimeter. Multiplied by 1,000 mm. Okay, is to 1 meter. Ayun yung ating P and L. Divided by area, kay 5 over 4. Ginawa kong millimeters yung nasa taas kasi millimeters yung mga diameters natin. Outer, 350 squared. Inner, this is 300 squared. So, syempre, area ito, it should be in square mm. Then, 200,000, ang equivalent ng megapascals is the newtons per square mm. So, that is 200,000 megapascals or newtons per square mm. Standard value for steel. So, let's have the value of delta. So, we have this as 2,000 multiplied by 1,000. Okay, multiplied by 5 by another 1,000. Okay, divided by area, we have shift pi over 4 of outer 350 squared minus inner is 300 squared. Then, 200,000 megapascals. So, we have 1.96 millimeters. Okay, 1.958. So, sa choices natin, okay, so we can have it as letter C. Okay, 1.96. So, ito yung solution natin sa problem number 29. Okay, so for our last item, this is for torsion. So for torsion, we have, ano ba yung mga tinatanong dito? So we have, una, okay, possible na itanong yung kay shearing stress or the torsional shearing stress. So, ang symbol na ginagamit is the tau. Ang torsional shearing stress tau is equal to the applied torque, the radius, this is divided by the polar moment of inertia. Ang polar moment of inertia ng solid shaft or solid rod is pi, the diameter raised to 4, divided by 32. Okay, so other than the shearing stress, pwede rin naman ang itanong dito is the angle of twist. So, ang formula naman ng angle of twist is theta. This is theta is equal to the TL divided by the G. The torque, the length, the polar moment of inertia J, and G, the modulus of modulus of rigidity. So, number 30, Yan, what is the angle of twist for a solid aluminum rod 100 millimeters in diameter subjected to a twisting moment of 10 kilonewtons meter? The rod is 3 meters long and G, the modulus of rigidity, is equal to 80 gigapascals. Okay, let's have the given. Okay, ang given na isa is the diameter equal to 100 millimeters. Okay, yung twisting moment, yun din yung tawag natin minsan, twisting moment or the same as the torque. Okay, so equal to 10 kilonewton meter. Then the length of the rod is equal to 3 meters. Modulus of rigidity is equal to 80 gigapascals. By the way, ang equivalent ng 1 gigapascal is 1,000 megapascals. Okay? So, we are looking for the value of the angle of twist. So, we have theta is equal to the TL divided by JG. So, kailangan nyo lang i-observe lang ulit dito yung mga units. So, what is our torque? The torque, that is 10 kilonewtons. We have 10 kilonewton meter. Magmo-multiply ako dito ng kay 1,000 squared, 1,000 squared para maging newton yung kilonewton, maging mm yung millimeters. Ayan, para mawala yung unit na yan. Ang maiwan lang is newton mm. Then, yung length natin is 3 meters. Okay, multiplied by 3 meters. Okay, multiplied by 1,000 millimeters is to 1 meter. Ayan, then divided by, we have pi, pi over, kapag polar moment of inertia is pi over 32. So this is pi over 32. What is our diameter? We have that as 100. Okay, so 100 millimeters, okay, raised to 4. So ang unit na nito is millimeters raised to 4. Then, ano yung ating modulus of rigidity? That is 80 gigapascals. Or pareho lang ito as 80,000. So times 1,000 para maging the megapascals. So multiplied by 80,000 megapascals. Ano ulit yung equivalent ng megapascals kanina? Okay, that is the same as the newtons per square mm. Ngayon kung mag-unit analysis tayo, okay, for the value of theta, unit analysis, so we have cancel na yung meter. Okay, this is mm squared, cancel mm to the fourth. So, ang maiiwan dito is mm squared. Pero may isang mm sa taas, isang mm sa taas. So, makakancel lang din yung mm squared. Makakancel lang din dapat yung newtons. So basically, if you are computing for the theta, dapat lahat ng units cancelled. So unitless or the same as in radian. So compute natin. Unitless yung result or the same as in radian. So we have that as 10 times 1,000 squared para maging newton mm yung kilonewton meter. Then multiplied by 3 times 1,000 para maging millimeters. Then that value divided by pi over 32 of our diameter is 100 raised to 4. Then our modulus of rigidity is equal to 80,000 megapascals. So we have that as 0.038. Okay, yung value natin is in radian, gawin lang natin siyang degrees. 180 degrees is to pi radians. So this is your final answer in degrees. Okay, yung value na to, multiply lang natin ng 180 degrees is to pi. So 2.19, let's have it as 2.19 degrees. Ito na yung ating sagot. So check natin, the angle of twist. Okay, we have it as letter B, okay, 2.19 degrees. So So that will be our lecture. So medyo mabilisan dahil limited time lang. So walang masyadong explanation sa iba, parang given na lang yung direct formula. So thank you for listening.